everyone. I thought I would come from this position today. You've got my Christmas tree in the background. I'll give you a tour of that when we get closer, and I think it's Vlogmas Day 18. So I am hopping on to introduce today's blog, which is a sew-along / pattern review of the new Seasons of East pattern, which is called Autumn in New York. Now, for any of you who are existing followers, you will know how much I love the Summer in New York pattern. I've made 5 versions. I'll stick a reel in here while we're talking. So the question is, am I going to love the Autumn in New York as much? Okay, let's start with the fact that this time I bought the PDF, not the paper copy. The paper copy is gorgeous in a Hessian bag. I'll put a picture in here of it with gorgeous design on it, and I love that, but I wanted to get on with this quickly for you lovely people so we can find out if it is as good as the one before that I have gone on about just a bit. So I've downloaded it, I've stuck it together, which I hate, but I did it for you. I've stuck the PDF together, I've cut it out. What you're going to see in a minute is me talk through the pattern pieces, then I'm going to cut the fabric out, I'm going to stitch it together and give you updates as I go along, and then at the end I'll give you a review, and depending on time you might see a second version, because my first one will be a kind of trial, a practice. It's always worth doing that with a new pattern like this. It's quite different. So I hope you're looking forward to finding out, is this pattern as good as the previous one, and am I going to love it, and is it going to become a staple in my wardrobe? Okay everyone, so I have cut out and stuck together the pattern now. Oh my goodness, I'm never going to love sticking together PDFs. There are not a huge amount of pieces. The instructions are good, and on them it tells you, so I'm going to go through all the pieces with you in a second. But what I would say already is no AO option, so if you didn't want to print it yourself, there isn't an option to get it printed. And also no sleeves. Now I knew that when I looked at it, but I wondered if there'd be an option. For any of my lovely followers out there in the US, I have been to New York twice, but wouldn't you need sleeves in New York in autumn? Tell me, am I right, am I wrong? And also this has been released in November in the UK. I might be able to add a sleeve in, we'll see, but just my first impressions, sleeve? Okay, let's go through the pattern pieces and the cutting. The pattern pieces. So we have this Godet, or Godet, depending on how you pronounce it, piece that doesn't have a size to it. It does have some hem notches and also has this Godet or Godet mark at the top here. We have the arm ruffle, which you cut 2 on the fold, and that doesn't have any notches at all on it, but interestingly I've read the pattern, it tells you to cut a notch when you've cut it. Then you've got the really long piece like this, which is the Godet ruffle, and this has to be cut 4 times, and then you gather these. Again, these are not a specific size. And then we've got the 2 dress pieces, front and back. If I have graded out at the waist to a 14 and back into a 12 at the top and the lower part based on the measurements, what I would say is there is a notch here, and I would love to know if that's the waist point or not, because it doesn't say, so I had to guess where the waist was. And then if we have a look, that says that's the Godet notch, so that's a really important notch, but there isn't any other notches. We have got at the bottom a lengthen and shorten mark, but that's just at the bottom, and then obviously it says remember to lengthen or shorten the Godet. So I can see that, but I don't think there's any other notches, and it would have been nice to have a notch on here to match with a notch on the ruffle on the sleeve, I have to say. This is cut on the fold as well, and then this is the back dress, and this has the Godet notch as well. but no other notches, and looks almost exactly the same, I think, apart from the neckline. Let's look at the neck on there. Yep, and the neck on here. So the front neck's slightly more scooped than the back, which you'd expect. I am looking at this arm however you pronounce it, the armhole, and I am wondering whether I'm going to need to do like I've done with the other Seasons of East and bring the shoulders up. But as this is a toile, we'll have to wait and see. So we've got two pieces. These large pieces have to be cut on the fold. So I'm going to get on with cutting out the dress now, and then we'll start the construction. What I would say is they're nice. Their pattern pieces are clear, as in they always tell you on there how many to cut. So like this one says cut 4 in fabric. So that's something that is missing on some patterns like Fibre Mood, but at least they've got that on there, which is good. You can see on this occasion I did print and stick it together myself. They don't offer an AO printing if you buy the PDF in Seasons of East, so that's a point to note. Okay, here's me and my very sore bit, which I'm not putting makeup on because if I did. So I thought I'd catch up on where I'd got to. So I have stitched the shoulder seams together, stitched the neckline, and I did the thing where you stitch from the shoulder to the centre and from the shoulder to the centre, because you're less likely to stretch it out by doing that on front and back. I've stitched down the side from the armhole to the godette notch, which is the only notch, let's be clear. So only that much stitched, and the rest is open, which I think is for the godet. I'm a little bit scared. Thoughts. This is an over the head, so it can't be that fitted, because otherwise how are we going to get it over the head? Because the waist has got to be slim enough to get over the bust. So that's a thinker. So I'm not sure it's going to be the most flattering. It might need a belt. Oh, so I'm having some thoughts. I have then done the really fiddly, and this is just me, this is not the pattern, the really fiddly turn it over, press, turn over again, press, stitch. So that's these are the godet ruffles, so you've got to do that on the outer edge. But there you go, look. I've now done the gathering stitch, and that's why that bit's like that. So I'm about to gather them all, and the instructions say to take the... Now, is it godette or godet? Because I think it's a French word, and if it is, then you wouldn't pronounce the T. Do let me know in the comments. So taking this, it's now time to gather the ruffle and make sure it fits. So we've got a lot of excess at the moment, and so that's got to fit on there, and then that has to fit into the sides of the dress. And then apart from the sleeve and neckline, and hem, obviously it's done. What's that piece now? Oh, there is the sleeve ruffle too. So a few bits to go, I say. Thinking about the sleeve ruffle, thinking about the sleeve. I might not do that to start with. I might do everything else and try it on, because as I've said already, I am thinking about messing around and trying to create a sleeve. And so I would think about how I did the ruffle with that. Here is the frill attached to the godet. So this is how it works. So on this side, obviously you get the neat edge, that's the back, but this is the right side of the frill, this is the wrong side, hence why you could see I said make sure you choose a fabric that you're happy to see both sides, because when this is stitched together, that's the right side of the frill and the wrong side is facing towards the godet, but you've got to be aware of that. It is tricky round the top getting both bits attached, and I've now got to pin this obviously right side to right side into the gap in the dress, but you've got to make sure you don't catch the frill in that. So this is going to be fun. Okay, so here it is hung on a hanger as it is. So I do have my concerns about how this is going to hang. I'm going to put it on in a second. So here you can see the godet in there like that. Obviously I haven't done any pressing yet, so this is hanging how it wants to. And there's that one. There you go on that side. So yeah, I'm gonna pop it on, but I am nervous. Okay, right, I've had to put it on with a long sleeve top because if I hadn't, A, I'd have been cold, and B, you would have seen that much of my bra. So it felt big in the arms when I was cutting it out. So this needs to come up. I had to bring the Summer in New York dress up, but that will bring this neckline up, but that's not a problem because that can be cut, but that needs to come up. That's better then, that all sits better. I already took at least an inch off. Let me pan down a minute. Okay, what I'm going to do is put a video in next to me here of me full length so you can see it. It's really hard to do when you're doing this. So I'd already taken an inch off the bottom, but it's still at my ankle. So this must have been drafted for a really tall person. I don't believe it says it on the instructions. I'm going to look again. I am 5'2", so I've already taken 2 inches off. So that would be a 5'4" person, but at their ankles. So, you know, you need another 3 inches to have it above your ankle. So that would be a 5'7". This needs to come up. That would bring it above my ankle slightly, but I did grade out at the waist. I could come in at the waist, but then it's not going to get over my chest. So how much can I come in at the waist without not being able to get it over my chest is the question. Obviously, I haven't got the sleeve ruffle on, which I think you need to balance out the godet ruffles. I'll put a belt on and I'll put that in this video as well. So I'm just going to have a look at how I think the belt looks. So bear with a second. Okay, so I like it with the belt, and this sort of bags a bit then. But still, I can't have this. So I'm either going to have to recut that or have to bring that up. I mean, I quite like that it's sort of loose over the belt. But either way, I either have to fix that or lift that. And if I lift this, then it won't bang over the belt. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do the sleeve ruffle, but I'm going to lift up the shoulders a bit first, because otherwise that's not going to fix this problem. They are just unbelievably low. So we're going to lift those up, put the sleeve ruffle on so we can get the full ruffle effect, and then I'm going to see what to do. I'm going to give everything a press, and then I'll give my final verdict. Okay, I've put the shoulder ruffles on, and the answer is this is a no with this. Now, you know I love it. If that was a top, then yes. But with this looseness, it is a no. Let's put a belt on and see. And by the way, I've brought the shoulders up about a centimetre, so overall that'd be 2. So it isn't it's slightly less long. I know this is a directional, but I mean, with the belt, this is better. I'll put in a thing here again so you can see the full thing. Bear with me while I just have a look. So with the belt, it's much more of a yes. I think that the armhole's still too big. I think that I would wear this somewhere special, but it would have to be summer or spring. You'd struggle with the jacket over the top because of the frill. I'm going to now put it on with a roll neck to see, and with a jumper over the top, and I'll take some stills to put in to talk it through. So I have sewn my first Seasons of East Autumn in New York dress. Overall verdict, definitely, as they say, at least intermediate or improving beginner. I think they say, hang on, let me read it. Sewing ability, suitable for intermediate sewers, although the dress is straightforward, so the insertion of the godette ruffles is a little tricky. I would agree with that. I would say that it's fiddly and not trapping things in, but if you've sewn ruffles before, then you would be okay with it, but it is a little bit fiddly. Would I sew it again? I just don't want to give up on it because it is a very different design from other dress patterns out there that I've seen. Now, if you've seen a similar pattern, do let me know. I feel like I want to put an invisible zip in the back and make it more fitted. I feel like I need to get the armholes right for myself, and I feel like I would need to then lower the godet because of the fact that lifting the bodice up would bring the godet up too high. I feel like I would want to look at doing like some kind of puff sleeve to balance out the bottom, but to have a sleeve. So would I sew it as it is again? No. Would I sew it again with small alterations? Possibly yes, if I had somewhere fancy to go. Would I do it again and massively play around with it? There's a chance. Not right now, but if I feel like I want a project, then it is something that I would like to get my teeth into. Do I recommend whether you should get it or not? I would say if you like a looser hanging dress without any sort of thing around the waist or any fittedness around the waist, it could be a good option. I'm not a big fan of those on me. I've put a picture in here of how that hangs for me. That doesn't work for me. I am disappointed with how the neckline looks with a roll neck underneath. I'll put that picture in now because I thought, okay, we can winterize it with a roll neck underneath. I don't think that works. Size goes from UK 8 to 26, so it's got a reasonable size range. Says you need 3 meters of fabric. I didn't, and I possibly even needed slightly less because I needed to shorten everything. But when I look at the Ditzy Pink Green picture, which I'm going to put in here, you can see how low the armhole is. It's too low. That is not suitable for a person. So whether it's drafted for a smaller bust or what, I don't know, but that hole is definitely too low. And also it falls mid-calf on the person who's wearing it, on both of them. So they must have drafted this for like a 5'7" or 5'8" person. I just want to read what it says. Wear with flats such as flip-flops or sandals for a new unique day look. I'm really sorry, and I know I said this at the beginning, but I don't think in autumn in New York you're wearing flip-flops. Or add a belt and a pair of heels for a dressier look. Yes, I could see that, and you can see the belted version. When the autumn days turn cooler, we love to wear over a roll neck jumper, thick tights and ankle boots. I was really disappointed with how it looked over a roll neck. I might just make the bodice part again and work on getting the bodice right and try that with a roll neck underneath, because I think it needs a slightly different neckline to work with a roll. So, Seasons of East. I loved your summer in New York dress, as I've mentioned many times. I don't love this off the bat. I love that it's different. I love that you've created something that is unusual, but I don't feel that I could make this up and wear it straight away. So this is probably going to get put away for a while now before I try it again. If anyone else has sewn it, I would love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know your tips and suggestions on how I could remedy it, or what you think of it on me. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I know I picked a directional fabric because I needed one that I was happy to twirl. I may well do it in a different fabric just to see, just because I'm curious. I don't know. It's just like a strange thing, isn't it? It's like I don't want to give up on it. My mind is asking how this would look in a thin jersey, but it's those ruffles. It's a lot of ruffles to do in a jersey. But could you leave the ruffles off and just do the nice godet to create some shape? That might be something. If I watch out in the new year for some good priced jersey, that could be worth a try, couldn't it? And even the ruffles just on the skirt. It is a real shame that they don't give the tip of thinking about needing a fabric that the print shows through on the other side. Okay, so there we go. my review of the new Seasons of East dress. Do drop me a comment below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like. See you again soon.